When looking back over Victor Charles's acting career, the biggest creative crime had to be screenwriters writing mostly buffoonery for his motion picture roles. Why Hollywood refused to cast Victor Charles in leading roles in classic historic films and playing figures such as Henry VIII, King of England, or in quality William Shakespeare plays like director Franco Zeffirelli's motion picture Romeo and Juliet in 1968, and it's anyone's guess why they didn't. When Victor Charles was given a juicy and classic character role to play in a stage production, he dominated the audience's imaginations with his physical poise and facial expressions, and with his lightning and amusing wit. What a pity Hollywood would overlook such a great talented actor as Victor Charles. In mid-1996, my father, Sonny, and my mother Hilda were having difficulties in their 15-year marriage. My father had recently stopped being a San Diego narcotic detective, and he went into steel business with his friend Jack Sinelli. I was 12 years old then, and fresh out of the 6th grade at Johnson Avenue Elementary School in El Cajon, California. The decision that my parents soon made lifted me out of my childhood for good. They made an arrangement with my Uncle Victor Charles and my Grandma Mert to take me into their Encino home for a while so they could iron out their troubling marriage. My new home was now at 4626 Avenue, Encino, California. It was my Uncle Victor Charles's home, and I was now living with him, my Grandma Mert, and my Uncle David Francis, who was 18 years old then. I never had a dog growing up in El Cajon, but I had one now, and he was a German Shepherd named Sergeant. Outside the house was a long trailer that was parked in the far corner on the property, and that was where Sherman lived. He was an old black man in his 60s, and he was their housekeeper, doing odd jobs inside and out of the house and property. I loved him, and he always had a smile for me, and had a warm tone in his voice comforting me. I loved that man very much, and Sherman loved me. When approaching the house leading up the curving roadway with high hedges on both sides like a tunnel, and nearing the top of the hillside and turning left, there was Victor Charles's beautiful home on the hill. It was grand, and it looked like a small castle made out of stones, with 2 garage doors to the left and a rock stairway leading up to the front door to the right. When standing at the top and looking to the left, there was an entrance door to where David Francis and my bedroom was, and it was right next to the laundry room and kitchen. When opening the front door and entering to the right, there was a spacious living room that had a large piano in the corner, and near the den there was a small organ against the wall that my Granny Grunts often played on. Everyone spent a lot of time enjoying in the den that had a wooden bar and a comfortable sofa where many discussions took place throughout the day. When standing in the foyer as you entered the house and you walked to your left down a long hallway, the first door you reached was my Grandma Mert's bedroom, and going a little further you would see Victor Charles's master bedroom. Throughout the entire interior was exotic woods from various foreign countries, and it was built by 2 Scandinavian builders who had constructed all of the high wooden ceilings, walls, and its floors throughout the house. The kitchen was located in between David Francis and my bedroom and the other 2 bedrooms down the hallway. We spent many hours throughout the day in the kitchen. Grandma Mert was a fabulous cook and kept everything clean, while Granny Grant sat in a corner talking her ears off throughout the day. Grandma Mert made practically everything from scratch, and she had a secret recipe of white bread that she probably got from heaven. After spreading butter on her delicious slice of bread, it was like eating a New York sirloin steak. The loaf was heavy and very dense, and I've never eaten better bread in my entire life. If you like eating French fries like I do, once again, never have I eaten better French fries than my Grandma Mert's. Almost everywhere you go to eat French fries these days, they are small and skinny. Grandma Mert would take one potato and cut it in 6 long lengths, making them fat and long, and then toss them into the frying pan. When they were perfectly cooked, she pulled them out and dropped them onto our plates, and then we bathed them with ketchup, and we took our fork and knife, and then we were in French fries heaven with our first bites. One of my favorite meals Grandma Mert made was her fried chicken dinners. Whatever it was that she put in her breaded, spiced fried chicken was out of this world. This was back in the old days when cooking was an art. There weren't any tin can dinners for us because Grandma Mert cooked everything fresh from scratch. There was no refrigerator TV dinners, canned vegetables, and fruits, and how wonderful were her breakfasts of bacon sausages and bright yellow-colored egg yolks served with her delicious mashed potato cakes in the morning. I don't recall ever watching television in the Encino house. In fact, I can't recall ever seeing a single television set throughout the house, not in the den, bedrooms, living room, or kitchen. What we did do for entertainment each day was talking with one another. For a short time, Granny Groots was staying with us. She was blind then, and she lost her husband Pete Baltovich when he died on March of 1964. Now, if you ask me how I got to calling her Granny Grunts, I haven't a single clue. She was just my Granny Grunts, and to this day I feel privileged having known her. She was the very first person who taught Victor Charles how to become an actor. Granny Grunts was 78 years old in 1965, and she played her organ in the living room and sang her songs. Wherever we were in the house, she would sit with us, and she threw her 2 cents worth in every conversation and argument we had. The one thing we had in the Buono family was strong-minded women. Granny Grunts had 3 daughters, Annie Susie Brittenbach, Grandma Mert Buono, and Aunt Mary Jane Morris. My mother Hilda came from an ultra-polite family, the Goldens, who never cursed or spoke out loudly to one another. And whenever my mother visited with these 4 strong-minded women, she always felt like hiding under a turtle shell.